Hi everybody, welcome back. So this is a very rather ad hoc video I decided to make. I just completed chapter 2 of this game. This is let me see if I can find a cover to best represent this game. Okay, so I have this. This is what they call a player screen. It's a very thick cardboard which can be folded, I think, into 3 or 4 flaps. This is Folklore the Affliction. So you can see here they have very nice artworks of demons and cultists, ghosts, vampires, witches, werewolf. Basically everything in your nightmare will come to life in this RPG. This is a very special buy. It's not easily available. I have no idea why I bought it, but because the artwork is just good, so here it is. And because this is a very ad hoc video, I have a lot to go through about this game. I will just try to run through it quickly. Definitely it's not going to be that detailed. The difference between the Kickstarter, the game itself, and things like that. Okay, so maybe just start from the top. This game uses all the standard dice from D&D. If you're very familiar, this is the set of dice I think is provided by the game. You will get this is the 2 times D10. One of them denomination of tens, 0 to 90, and the other one is the standard D10. And we have a D4, which is the very commonly used for people who knows D&D. D6, and this is just your normal 6-sided dice. I have upgraded some of them. Different characters will have different colors. So I have one characters with the red and one character with green, as you can see here. Okay, so this is some of the dice I have used. So this game comes in two main mode. So when you're traveling in the so to put it in an easy way is that imagine this is like the big game map when you are like in an RPG, and you have these are big towns, big church, big forest, and these are the roads. So you travel with your marker along the roads in the count of how much your strife is. In this case, it's equivalent to speed. And then every time you either travel on the road or you travel in the wilderness. So there are like 2 decks of cards here. One of them is a road event, the other one is off-road event. So when you stopped by in the event, you will draw one of these, and then they will tell you what happens. So this is kind of like a random encounter. So I'm not really going to spoil a lot, but I'm going to show you like maybe one of the cards how it works. So there is a day side of it, and there's the night side of it. So depending on the day or night, some things will happen. And this is indicated by okay. So this is the deluxified version, which is a metal token. There is actually a normal cardboard token which shows one side is the day, and the other side is the night. So I think this is really pretty. At first, I can't regret buying the additional bundle. So okay, maybe since I'm on this, so this comes in this bundle known as the Farmer Bundle. It's kind of like it's a first edition and second edition add-on for Folklore the Affliction. It comes with a couple of stuff inside. So basically this is one of the upgrades. It comes together with let me see if I can find it. Yes, it comes together with this nice cloth bag, which depict the same logo and symbol from you've seen just now on the medallion. So basically I use this to keep all my dice and first player token. The first player token I really should change it because I really hate this though. Okay. There is a deluxified version of the first player token, but unfortunately it's kind of too expensive. It's just 1 token and 8 cards for about $15 plus shipping. That comes to about $20 plus maybe, and I think that's really expensive for 8 cards and 1 mana tokens. Okay, anyway, with that out of the way, back to the main map. So once you have an encounter, some of the encounters will lead you into something a bit more more involved, and you have encounter cards like this. So they are encounter maps. The game itself will tell you what map to draw, which can be easily seen from the corner here. You can see. So you will have map number. This is FE05A, which is stand for Folklore Expansion, the 5th map. There's A side as well as B side here, as you can see. So it depends on what the So this is So this is the B side, and they have names. So this is like the 4-state woodlands for them. And this, imagine like this is in your RPG. This is a close-up encounter. So you have your characters, and then you have monsters. So there are various versions of this game. Mainly I think it's the Kickstarter versus the retail. The Kickstarter version, you will have miniatures like this. So this one is one of the boss. This is the tree monster. Okay, it's not so perfect because I think this this is a 2-piece model that's joined together. But if you paint it and proxy this, the joints can be hidden, I guess. But this looks like a big cauliflower, if you ask me. Okay, and most of the monsters that in my version, which is not a Kickstarter version, comes with all the standees. So this is a boss, but she's a standee. I'm pretty good with it because look at the standee. The detail is really fantastic. Yeah. This is not a boss. This is just a normal monster. It's a rabbit wolf. As you can see, there's a close up and as well as a full. And these are okay. So if you've seen my previous video, these are my custom printed 3D metal icons. So this doesn't come with the game. The games comes with a similar standees for the heroes as well. Okay, so this is one of the friendlies. Okay, despite how evil the scarecrow look like, he's actually a friend. I mean, if you played through, okay, it's kind of a spoiler, but yeah, that's one of the friend you will get. And so I'm back here talking to you about the different type of encounters. So in normal encounters, you will have like very colorful cards showing how the miniature looks like if you have the miniature version. If not, at least you get an artwork here. Basically, this has a scaling, although the scaling is a different problem I don't want to talk about here. But basically, depending on number of players, it has a different Vita, which is like HP. As you can see, is not really proportional, making it rather difficult for 2 players. Might is something like it's a modifier due to different type of modes you're playing, like from Dusk to Nightmare. There's modification to the monster's mic. Defense is like how much you need to roll above in order to hit him. Strife is like speed. Law is XP. Coins are less like money, and the various special powers and and keywords is highlighted in capitals. And one thing very interesting about this game is that when a monster rolls to hit you, for example, let's say this is like a 77. So let's say the wolf hit you. I know very likely he's going to hit you. Like 77 is like nobody has that high of a defense. So 7 is the lower, the digit. So you look at this, it's between 1 to 7, and it hits you with the 2 and nil and so on. And this is the effect. And if it hits you like really with a 8 or something, maybe it's a 78 or something. Then this is the other skills that apply. So you look at this part instead of the top. So this is very intuitive, and like there's variations in the type of attack each of the monster has. And these are the boss card, which looks very similar. One thing icon I didn't talk about, this is like this icon is the close encounter. It means that melee, I mean, it will like need to be beside you before it can attack. And these are range, and so it doesn't really need to be beside you to hit you. So for bosses, there is nothing behind. It just shows the Folklore the Affliction logo. But for normal encounters, there's actually something called the skirmish. This is a very interesting thing because you know, in adventure games, one thing you really hate is like the grinding, and you know, you have to keep fighting. And you know, if you were to like fight on this map, it's going to take a while, you know, moving characters and attacking, you know, casting and things like that. So this provides a fast way to deal with certain encounters. Like for example, you know, maybe it's on the road and then they just say that you meet a few wolves, and it don't really needs to, you know, like zoom down to a big map fighting wolf. And basically it's a quick encounter. And how this works is that there's actually a counter here where you keep track of how many hit you need to kill the wolf. So for example, you know, for like 2 players, you roll 1d4, and if you get a 4, which is actually bad luck, you start here. That means they start with +1 damage. And then, you know, as you roll, you hit them, you will reduce. And then once you hit 0, the encounter ends. So this is like a quick encounter mode. And they don't really have so much complex power. They only have 1 skirmish skill here. And the stats are slightly different, and you can see that many coins that's actually very skimmish that actually give you XP. Okay, so this is how the encounters differs. So tokens, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. Game comes with a lot of tokens. I have you know, kind of protected them with token protectors. So this is the first game that I did that, and I don't know if I kind of regret it, but you know, I have many boxes of tokens, so and I ended up having things like that. So there's like box 1. So actually this box is mainly the standees, as you can see, standees. Yeah. And then I have a lot of other boxes that you know, contain the various type tokens. In fact, I have like 4 or 5 boxes of this. So you know, when you use the protector on the tokens, you actually increase the size, and that makes storage a bit more complex. Let's move here to talk a little bit about how I organize the characters. So each of the characters come with a character sheet, which looks like the encounter sheet, you know, and it gives you the various stats and ability. And then on the behind is what they call a ghost mode. So when you die in this game, you don't really die, you just become a ghost. Once you get back to town, there's a chance for you to like resurrect, unless you end up in limbo. But even in limbo, there's not really the end. There's still a chance for the character to come back. And they also give you a card. This card is like customized for each of the characters. As you can see, it shows you the starting ability, weapons, and as well as some of the special things you can do in the town. So like for example, the Slayer, this character is a Slayer. She can buy a vibrant coat from the gypsy in the gypsy encampment, and at a church at the crossroad she can get a water blessing, and then in each story she can actually get holy water. And then this is her skill tree. So there are 2 main branch for each characters. So if you choose the branch 1, you will be going taking down this one as you gain more lore, and if you choose the other, it will be so there's no crisscrossing. You have to stick to your path. And there's some backstory about the Slayers. So this is the way you choose the path. So you can either choose to be an acrobat or choose to be a soldier. So similarly, this is like for the rest of the characters. So there are a colorful amount of characters in this game, and everything from courtesan to witch hunters and herbalists. Maybe I think if I can't remember, or is it occurrists? So there are people who deal with magic, they deal with and people who deal with various different types of skills. Like for example, the illusionist is ones that use kind of a trickery rather than magic. So there are cards in this game that comes with companions. So you have like companions here, like also there are animal companions like the snow owl. Yeah, he gives +1 awareness and you know, +1 to your range attack. So there are various also body and armor, ring. So all the standards RPG elements you find in this game, which is actually and so here is those big boxes I mentioned. I have a lot of them. It comes with some dice, so various tokens. So you can see there's a lot of tokens in this game, and the tokens is not just one size. So you have like rather big ones. So this is like the day and night token instead of the metal one you have. and there are certain boss enemies which has a big token. This like the afflictions, they are the big ones. There's also standees to represent like door portals, closed door, for example, you know, and things like that. And randomized tokens, like for example, this I think is a pile leaf, or is it treasure chest? So it's a treasure pile. So inside the treasure pile there could be other things. So they're like, you know, become lucky, and for example, some of them might not be so good. So you maybe you know, there's a snare, there's a trap. So you randomize this and place them accordingly to how they set up the storyboards. So there are some elements to it. It's like no, not all treasures are good. You know, you could fall into a trap. And before I close out everything, I like to run through. So this is how I organize out the cards. So these are like all the animals companion you can get, the militia companions. There's some. This is the tarot cards. I won't explain too much about it. It's part of games, and there are some customized artifacts which is actually not in the game. So this I have to print it out myself. So they are represented by cards for convenience sake, but you know, in the game it's just like, you know, you just write on your character sheet. And there's also abilities. There's tons of abilities for the different classes. So these are the whole bag of maps. So this is for the first expansion. You get about 10-20 maps of various sites, you can see here. And this is for the main game. This is about 10 pieces, I guess. There is a rulebook, which is actually like, you know, more standards. You have all the, you know, show you the components in the game and things like that. But what is more important in this game is that you know, it's the story. So it's not just about the rulebook. I will have to pick up the journal after I can clear some space from here. Okay, so this is like for the first expansion. You have a journal. So this the journal 2. Okay, DuckTales. DuckTales is the first expansion, and you know, in this you will follow through. It tells you the story, and there's the first chapter. You will travel places according to, you know, instruction given, set up a map for encounter, and so on. And there are various choices. You will not go through it linearly. There will be some jumps. They'll tell you like, you know, if you choose this, you'll go to this section. If you choose that, you will jump a few pages and go to another section. And basically this gives you about like 10 chapters, you know, in each journal, fight various bosses, and you know, it builds up a very, very good story. And sometimes you know, in the story they ask you to read the verses, so you get like, you know, read verse 101, you know, this what happened, and then it tells you to continue somewhere else and things like that. So basically you can tell that, you know, this is really like as close to an RPG as you can get. They have really like placed a lot of RPG element into this game, and I really quite enjoyed this. So before I end it up, maybe let's go through some of the various cards they have. So in this game there's a lot of modifier cards. So world events is like things that's happening around the world, and it could be like, you know, festivals going on, or you know, certain magic has rises and you get plus for this magic, minus for that magic, and things like that. So like for example, this blaze card, which is really not so good, is like there's you know, the town's on fire. So when you go to a town, if you cannot put out the fire, certain service are not available for you, and things like that. Rumor cards also from the expansion. You get rumor cards is in the sense that there's some side stories and quests that I don't really want to like spoil this, but you get to hear certain things like maybe, you know, ask you to investigate. Like maybe there's some people talking about evil rituals being conducted in certain places in the world. Visit those places, and then, you know, you get a flip over, and then it might tell you to set up an encounter, or you know, you're given choice to maybe like, you know, just resolve it. And there are a lot of cards. So harem cards are, you know, it comes with each character. You get to choose one. This is an item that's been passed down to you by your forefathers, and it has various you know, abilities and things like that. These are the counters that's used to keep track of the monsters. You know, like from each of the monsters will have their hit points, things like that. But I don't really use them. I actually use an app. So they have an unofficial app, which is a very, very well done app for this. So I have splitted the items into different stacks. Originally they are all clustered in one stack, because I have used a custom house rule that lets you draw from different stacks based on certain conditions. So they are like, I split them into consumables, resources. So the equipment pack is also one of the add-ons that I bought. It basically replaces some of the cards that you've seen on the character sheet. Like, so for example, you actually get a card for this if you want, and the various additional cards you can buy at the town. So they are prayers and rituals. They are kind of like white magic, black magic, if you put it in a very simple sense. So they can be gained by various characters. Armor, weapons, artifacts are very powerful equipment. Some of them are story based, which only can gain when you're in a story, and some of them is very rarely you get it as a encounter. So lastly, tinkles. Tinkles are like, you know, small additional, like for example, this is a waist, this is a belt of celebrity, give you +1 strike. So what else can you do in this game? There's actually a lot of things you can do in this game, and it's nice of them that they actually you know, design the town and everything. If I can find my, so basically what I'm looking for now is actually there are some sheets that tells you you know, what you can do when you reach town. Yeah, so here I found it. So these are the ones, like for example, these are all the quick start sheets, like, you know, player aids they call it. So it tells you about this, you know, the different types of status you can get. Some of them negative, some of them is positive, and what you do in an encounter, you know. But this is the most important one. So in town, there are always certain services that's available. Like, you can do some healing at the chapel, you know, buy holy water, or you can like go to the inn, you know, drink and things like that. Yep. So there's a double side a lot, and this is the additional card that's custom made by me that contains the keyword. It's actually a duplicate of one of the big page in the book. Also added some rules and stuff that quick reference. So basically, this is how the game goes. As you can see, lots of components, lots of things to talk about. I haven't even touched about, you know, there's one additional box here I did not open. I don't know if you know this. So there's actually the Fall of the Spire, which actually is like the second big box expansion. I'm not even going there. So there's a lot and a lot. But until next time, I think this is like a hot video. Thanks for watching. I hope this gets you a bit at least interested.